It's truly just touching to me that all of these scholarship donors invest in students without even personally knowing them, and just to be able to be one of those recipients just makes me so happy. I am a recipient of the William and Jane Fleming Study Abroad Scholarship, and that allowed me to cover my airline and helped me with my accommodation while I lived in Chile for 6 months. I've always lived in Nebraska, you know, and landlocked in the center of the United States, and so it was a tremendous experience to live in a city in Chile that's between the Pacific Ocean and the Andes Mountains. And so it was an entirely new environment for me, and it was quite amazing. Just living in Chile for an extended period of time really opened up just my entire view of the world and my perspective on how global this world really is. And no matter where you live in the world, it is just so interconnected, and it really just built my confidence tremendously just in the things that I can see myself doing later on in my life. There was one time when I was in Patagonia, which is the most southern tip of South America. It's actually called the end of the world. I took a week break from my university and was able to hike the mountains and the glaciers in Patagonia, and that was just such a turning moment in my life, is that there's so many of these places out there in the world, and there's, you know, it's so relatively easy to explore while you're younger. We were on a ferry back to the bus to return back to our city, and this ferry took us along like a waterway, and it overlooked the entire mountain range and glaciers that we had just completed hiking. And that was the point where I looked up at these mountains and I was like, I just accomplished that, and where am I in this world? Another scholarship recipient and I had the opportunity to travel to Florida and actually meet Jane Fleming, and she was just a wonderful human being. She was so just welcoming and so grateful for us to visit her when we were the ones who were incredibly grateful for her funding us, and she just had so much passion for what we were doing and was so curious about all of our trips. And one thing that she asked us that really got my brain kind of stirring is, well, how did you change the perception of the citizens of the country that you were living in? How did you change their stereotype of Americans? And I was really like, wow, that is a question that I should be thinking about when I'm traveling. In that just short time, she really made the most of it and made sure that we were taken care of just like she had previously in our abroad experiences. Before she had even met us, she's been taking care of us. I will never forget the compassion that she had towards me and being able to invest in me without even knowing me. It was really quite touching.